welcome to the show. Obviously, phone's on silent. The other warning I should give you up front is please do not retweet any of these jokes. All of the comedians you see tonight have fledgling careers they'd like to hang on to, so please, for just 2 hours, could you just stay away from social media? But I want to talk about a few things. Now firstly, we are here at Political Asylum, and often we tell jokes here, about the status quo and how we want to overthrow it. And people often ask, who will overthrow the status quo? Will it be the students or the workers? And I can tell you it's going to be neither of them. It's going to be neither of them. When capitalism is finally brought to its knees and the powers that be are finally forced to wield to someone's will, it will not be the Socialist Alliance that do it. It will not be the students. It will not be Green Left Weekly street vendors, no. The group of people that will lead the revolution will be teenage girls that are fans of Justin Bieber. For those of you who don't know, a couple of weeks ago in Sydney, the Justin Bieber appearance had to be cancelled because 10 to 13-year-old girls overran the New South Wales police. Again, 10 to 13-year-old girls. They've gone soft to that inquiry into corruption. But it actually makes sense when you think about it, because when it comes to crowd control, riot control, police don't have many other tricks outside of hitting people. And you can't do that to teenage girls. That's not going to wash in public opinion. You can't say that Ashley, 13 years old, who travelled all the way from Noosa by bus to see her first ever concert, headbutted your baton. You can't say that a bunch of 11-year-old girls kidneyed you in the knee. I was reading a couple of weeks ago about Carl Williams' funeral. That happened, and I read a lot of the coverage, and one of the articles described Carl Williams' funeral, they summed it up as tacky to the end. They talked about how he had a $30,000 gold casket which was described as a Michael Jackson knockoff. A power ballad to see him out, and Roberta and the family arrived in a stretch Hummer. And the journalist described it as tacky, classless and gaudy, which I'm not sure is something you can really say when you're in the process of reviewing a funeral. Yes, Carl Williams may be dead, but if you are reviewing his funeral, critically appraising it, you are dead on the inside. Cory Bernardi, Liberal Senator for South Australia, has called for a ban on the burqa. And can I say firstly, I'm not necessarily anti-racist. I'm a very tolerant guy. I respect racism's right to exist in Australia. But when did racism in Australia become so gutless? And Cory Bernardi came out and said, I'm not racist. It's nothing about religion. It's a security issue. Just don't say you don't like migrants. Have some balls. And this is why I still love Pauline Hanson when she says, I'm not selling my house to Muslims, I don't like them. At least she's honest. And Pauline Hanson doesn't come out and say, I'm not selling my house to people who arrive here by boat. Nothing to do with race, I just think irregular arrivals shouldn't be allowed into this country. So and I'm sure more people will talk about it in more depth, but the whole idea is it's a security issue. There was a mugging in Western Sydney. Some guy was wearing a burqa and giant sunglasses and held someone up. And people are now saying it's a security issue. And there's a guy at work, we'll call him, for the purposes of this show, Cory. If anyone knows Cory, please write down everything I say and tell him, because I'm too gutless to tell him myself. But Cory said to me, Cory's again, he's not racist. He's not racist. It's just all his conversation is about boat people and migrants. It's just, he can't make small talk. And Cory explained to me, he said to me, Matt, how many banks? How many banks till you want to ban it? How many banks have to be robbed? I'm just looking at him saying, all right, dude, I'm going to go out on a limb here. I'm going to go with one. One, because we're at the moment at none. And I also think, well, I don't think burqa would be the best way to commit a crime, but to be honest, I read last night there was a family around here who came home and found burglars in their house, who then beat them up and tied them up. And I've got to be honest, if I ever got robbed, I would love to be robbed by guys in burqas. It would be so much better, because at least then you can say, all right, everyone stay calm. Everyone stay calm. I can't see you. I'm not a witness. There is no need to panic here. I will let you tie me up. I have home and contents insurance. Take fucking everything. Okay, we can all be winners. I get new stuff. You get new stuff. There is no need to panic. But I thought about this guy at work, Corey, and I've written a poem for him in testament to his comment. You know, how many banks, Matt? That's what it's called, how many banks. I'd like to read, would you like to hear my poem? Yeah. Oh, you know, I've never written a poem before, and to be honest, I don't think it rhymes or adheres to any literary conventions, but I think it has jokes. So here's how it goes. How many banks, Matt? How many bonds have to be taken? How many branches have to be lost before we ban the burqa? How many school buses, Matt? How many missing bus loads do you need? How many black-clad pedos would it take before we ban the burqa? How many planes hijacked, Matt? How many 9/11s? How many buildings must collapse before we ban the burqa? This is my favourite one. How many International Space Station breaches, Matt? How many shuttles must we lose? How many astronauts murdered, Matt, before we ban the burqa? So that's the poem I'll be presenting to Corey. Oh, thank you. The other big issue that got wrapped up this week was Julia Gillard finally broke the education union strike. Now I'm obliged to feel bad about this because my mum is a teacher and here tonight, so... Hi, Mum. She's really angry at me right now. But I must admit, this is over the My School website. Is everyone aware of the My School website? It puts the data up online in league tables. Well, not league tables. They're not league tables. They just put the data there, and then the Herald Sun puts it in a spreadsheet and presses sort, with some information provided to them by an intrepid paperclip. Now, teachers say this humiliates students, it makes the debate polarised about failing schools. I don't agree. I think there's a lot of good benefits to the My School website. For example, the My School website has shown us that private and public schools in affluent suburbs like Melbourne are near the top. And schools in poor neighbourhoods generally perform poorly. And I think it's great that Australians finally have a website which shows that the class system is working effectively. For many years, there have been many people wondering, is being filthy rich value for money? You've sent your kid to a private school, they have 3 school halls, 2 swimming pools, Aztec remains in the basement, but am I really getting what it's worth? Now, you know, I do wonder though if it's really any good for the students that are in failing schools, because I always thought we could figure this out before My School website by just asking around. I mean, when I went to school, I won't name my school because it would humiliate that school, and I'm not interested in that, but my school, we'll just say it was in a town called Cooma. It was where they didn't worship Jesus, and there was only one public school there. So, and my school, I figured out what it was like on the first day. I came home, Mum said, how is it? I said, well, the maths teacher deals pot, the English teacher can't spell, the principal appears to have early Alzheimer's, and the PE coordinator had an affair with a student last year, which they can't prove. From which we concluded that Cooma High was above average. And this was born, it had some problems, but it was okay. But I knew Gillard would break this strike, even though I didn't think she quite had the strike-breaking skills. I knew it because the teachers' union, their stance wasn't that strong. They said to any casual teachers or retired teachers who were going to come in and administer these NAPLAN tests, so these are the tests that provide the literacy and numeracy results, they would face a hostile environment. You know, there would be no tea, cake and biscuits laid out for them. Yeah. No 30-year-old carrot cake so hard it could form the basis of a Building the Education Revolution school hall. The Teachers Federation basically said that they were going to fight the My School website, they were going to fight any scab labour with an onslaught of passive aggression. If you come in and administer this test, we will invite you to the Christmas party, but we will do it in such a way that you know we do not want you to come. But I can understand though, I mean, look, I said my mum's a teacher, and teachers, they do hate accountability, they do. They do. You can't deny it. They don't like it. No. And they don't like it for good reason, because they are accountable often for someone who pisses themselves. Or if it's a teenager, someone who's high as a kite on drugs. Like, there is good reasons for that. I mean, teachers, I think, hate accountability almost as much as politicians hate accountability. Which is why I think the Education Union should have said, all right, fine, we'll have a My School website, provided you agree to a My MP website. We could make most of the MPs just sit the NAPLAN tests. Sure, it would cause Cory Bernardi some problems.